They didn't exchange vows. They didn't even look at each other until another man sent her roses, and the husband who treated her like an enemy suddenly became the most dangerous man alive, ready to destroy anyone who dared breathe the same air his wife inhaled. Welcome to the channel, lovelies. Please like and subscribe. A quick shout out to Mary Spillers for becoming a channel member and supporting the channel. Mary, this one's for you. Today's story is dedicated to you. Thank you for helping keep these stories alive. All right, let's get into it. Valentine's morning came soft and clear. Mary woke early, pulled on a silk robe, and walked to the dining room. She had a conference call in an hour about shipments. The penthouse was quiet, peaceful. She poured coffee, settled at the table with her laptop, started reviewing numbers. Halfway through, the elevator doors opened. Staff entered, wheeling something massive. Mary glanced up, distracted. "What is that?" "Delivery for you, ma'am." They wheeled in the largest flower arrangement Mary had ever seen. 100 red roses, extravagant, ridiculous. She stood, walked closer. Beautiful, she had to admit. The card was tucked between roses. She pulled it out. "For a queen who deserves to be worshipped, not ignored. Lunch this week. You deserve better than cold shoulders. Senator Kwon." Mary read it twice, then laughed. The audacity. She had to respect it. She set the card down, about to return to her call, when footsteps echoed. Min-jun. He entered mid-coffee pour, crisp white shirt, preparing for meetings. He stopped. Froze completely, his eyes locked on the roses. Mary watched his expression shift, confusion, and realization. Fury. His hand tightened on the coffee pot until she thought it might shatter. "Who sent them?" His voice was dangerously low. Mary turned back to her laptop. "Good morning to you too." "Who sent them?" He set the coffee pot down, hard. Mary noticed his control slipping. Interesting. "An admirer. Does it matter?" Min-jun crossed the room in 3 strides, stopped in front of the roses. His jaw was clenched so tight she could see the muscle ticking. "Throw them out." Mary looked up now. "Excuse me." "You heard me. Throw them out." "And why would I do that?" This was fascinating. She'd never seen him lose composure. Their eyes met, held. The air shifted, charged, electric. "They're beautiful roses," Mary said slowly, testing, "from a senator. A powerful man who actually notices I exist." Something snapped in Min-jun. His hand shot out, grabbed the vase. Mary stepped back, startled. But he didn't throw it. Instead, he set it down hard on the table. Water sloshed over the edge. His voice came out raw. "Get rid of them, or I will." He turned, walked to the bar cart, grabbed a glass, and threw it. The sound of shattering echoed through the penthouse. He walked out. Mary stood alone, staring at broken glass, at roses, at the space where he'd been. Her hands were shaking. He cares, she thought. He actually cares. But how did they get here? How did a marriage of convenience turn into this powder keg of emotion? To understand that, we have to go back 3 months. 3 months ago, this hell of their marriage started. The American Mafia queen and the Korean underworld king, pushed together by families who only saw dollar signs where love was supposed to be. The contract marriage happened on a Tuesday in a private estate outside Seoul. No flowers, no music, no pretense of romance. Just 2 empires colliding because their fathers decided mutual survival required alliance. Mary Spillers stood in a white dress she hadn't chosen, staring at Korean characters on a document she couldn't read, and signed her name beside a man who hadn't spoken one word to her. Park Min-jun's signature was sharp, efficient, final. He didn't look at her during the ceremony, didn't acknowledge her existence beyond the legal requirement. When the officiant declared them married, Min-jun turned and walked away. No kiss, no smile, nothing. Mary watched him go and felt relieved. At least they understood each other. This was business. Nothing more. Mary stepped off the elevator in her wedding dress. Min-jun was already halfway to the East Wing when he heard her voice. He stopped, didn't turn around. "Which wing is mine?" Mary asked. Her voice echoed. "Does it matter?" Min-jun said. "We won't be seeing each other." He disappeared through double doors that shut with finality. Mary stood alone in the massive space and laughed once, sharp and bitter. Perfect. She turned toward the West Wing and didn't look back. That first night, Mary unpacked in silence. She video called her team back home, gave orders about shipments and territory disputes, her voice cold and efficient. Through the window, Seoul glittered like scattered diamonds, beautiful and foreign. She was 28, and controlled arms deals from Chicago to Miami, and had just signed her life to a stranger. Her phone buzzed, a text from her second-in-command. "How's married life?" she typed back. "Non-existent, exactly how I want it." She fell asleep alone and told herself this was freedom. Across the penthouse, Min-jun sat at his desk, reviewing territory maps. His empire stretched from Seoul to Singapore. He was 31, feared throughout the Asian underworld, and had just acquired a wife he didn't want. His phone rang. His right hand, Ji-ho, didn't waste time. "How is she?" Min-jun's jaw tightened. "I don't know, I don't care. Never mention her to me again." He hung up and poured whiskey. 3 fingers, straight. The burn did nothing to erase the image of Mary in that white dress, eyes sharp and defiant. He hated that he'd noticed, and hated more that he'd wanted to look longer. Control, he reminded himself, always control. He finished the drink and forced himself to focus on business. She was just a contract, nothing more. Morning came with uncomfortable precision. Mary was up at 6, showered, dressed in all black. She walked to the shared dining room and found coffee already made. No sign of Min-jun. Good. She sat, opened her laptop, and started reviewing shipment manifests. 30 minutes later, footsteps. She didn't look up. Min-jun entered, poured coffee, sat at the opposite end of the table. 12 chairs between them. The silence was suffocating. Mary kept typing. Min-jun read a Korean newspaper. Neither acknowledged the other. This continued for 10 minutes until Mary stood to leave. She passed his chair. He didn't look up. "You're in my light," he said. So Mary stopped. "There are 12 chairs. And you chose to walk past mine." She turned, met his eyes for the first time since the ceremony. Cold, calculating, dangerous. "Get used to disappointment," she said. She walked away. Behind her, she heard him set down his coffee cup very carefully, like he was stopping himself from throwing it. 3 months. 3 months of perfected avoidance. They had separate schedules, separate meetings, separate lives under one roof. But the underground world watched, waited, whispered. The alliance was fracturing before it began. Mary heard the rumors and smiled. Let them think what they want. She was busy building her own network in Seoul, making connections, establishing authority. At every opportunity, they both found a way to either frustrate the other or completely act like neither existed in their world. That same night, Min-jun held court at a Korean crime summit. 20 syndicate leaders, all watching him with fear disguised as respect. He discussed territory, payments, and consequences for broken agreements. His voice never rose. Didn't need to. Everyone understood. Cross Park, Min-jun and Yu disappeared. Simple. After the meeting, Ji-ho pulled him aside. The American shipment from Busan was delayed. Min-jun's eyes narrowed. How? Someone bought the warehouse, through a shell company. We can't trace it yet. Min-jun was quiet for exactly 3 seconds. Find out if my wife is behind this. Ji-ho hesitated. Sir, she wouldn't. Min-jun looked at him. Wouldn't she? A few minutes later, confirmation came. The shell company traced back to Mary's network. Min-jun sat alone in his study, hands fisted on his desk. She'd made the first move. He smiled. No warmth in it. Game on. 2 days later, Mary's best arms dealer called. Apologetic. Someone made a better offer. I have to take it. Who? Mary demanded. Silence. Then, Park. She hung up and threw her phone across the room. She wanted to scream. Instead, she pulled out her laptop and started searching for Min-jun's next weak point. Found it. A casino expansion in Macau. Property rights unclear. She made 3 calls and bought every adjacent lot through different shell companies. By morning, Min-jun's expansion was landlocked. Checkmate. She waited for retaliation. It came that afternoon. Her assistant knocked on her office door, face pale. So your Russian buyer meeting was double booked. Mr. Park scheduled his own meeting. Same time, same location. Mary laughed. He's good. What do you want me to do? Reschedule for tomorrow and find out what he values most. This was war now, and Mary had always been good at war. The weeks blurred into a montage of strategic strikes. Mary leaked Min-jun's shipment routes to a neutral party, causing delays but no real damage. Just enough to irritate. Min-jun responded by outbidding her at an illegal auction for territory rights in Bangkok. She countered by sending him flowers at a business meeting. Public. Embarrassing. The card read simply, "Thinking of you, your wife." Min-jun's associates laughed nervously. He'd smiled, cold and sharp, then had the flowers incinerated in front of everyone. At a gala ceremony, Mary arrived alone in a red gown. She moved through the room, collecting contacts like trophies. Japanese yakuza, Chinese triads, European smugglers. Everyone wanted to talk to the American queen who'd married into Korean royalty. She smiled, charmed, negotiated, and ignored the moment Min-jun entered. He wore all black, sharp suit, sharper eyes. The room noticed him immediately. Conversations paused. He moved like a predator. Mary watched from across the ballroom as he networked with rival factions. Korean syndicate leaders orbited him like moons. He was sending a message. I don't need this marriage either. 2 hours passed. They never approached each other. Never spoke. But Mary felt his awareness of her like electricity on her skin. Every time she laughed with someone new, his jaw tightened. Every time he leaned close to whisper to a female associate, her grip on her champagne glass turned white-knuckled. This wasn't business anymore. This was something else entirely. Late that night, both returned to the penthouse. Mary went straight to Min-jun's study, didn't knock. He was at his desk, tie loosened, looking exactly as frustrated as she felt. You blocked my Los Angeles shipment, she said. No greeting. Min-jun didn't look up. You bought my casino property. That was business. So was Los Angeles. Mary crossed the room, slammed her hands on his desk. Papers scattered. He finally looked up. Their eyes met, held. The air between them crackled. This marriage was a mistake, Mary said. Min-jun stood slowly, came around the desk, stopped inches from her. The only thing we've agreed on. They were breathing hard, hanging too close. Close enough that Mary could smell his cologne, see the pulse in his neck. His eyes dropped to her mouth for half a second. Her breath caught. Then Min-jun stepped back. Get out of my study. His voice was rough. Mary left. But in the hallway, she pressed her hand to her chest and felt her heart racing. What was that? Behind her, through the door, she heard glass shatter. Min-jun had thrown something. She smiled despite herself. At least she wasn't the only one unraveling. That night, Mary lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Her body felt electric, wrong. She didn't need him, had never needed anyone. Needing people got you killed in her world. But the image of Min-jun's eyes on her mouth wouldn't leave. She turned over, punched her pillow. This was just proximity. Just frustration. Nothing more. Across the penthouse, Min-jun poured another whiskey. His fourth. He's been drinking too much lately, Since her, Mary, even her name felt dangerous in his mind. She was a complication he hadn't planned for. Beautiful, brilliant, infuriating. He wanted to hate her, mostly succeeded, except for moments like tonight when she'd been in his space, all fire and fury, and he'd wanted to kiss her just to shut her up. He drained the glass, poured another. Control. He just needed control. Everything else would follow. The incident that changed everything happened one afternoon. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. Mrs. Park, Senator Kwon. The voice was smooth, charming, powerful. Mary recognized the name. Political figure with underworld connections. Senator, what can I do for you? I wanted to reach out personally, welcome you to Seoul properly. Perhaps dinner sometime. Mary smiled. I appreciate that, but I'm quite busy. Of course. Though I must say, a queen like you deserves to be celebrated, especially tomorrow, Valentine's Day. May I send you something? Senator, I don't celebrate Valentines. His laugh was warm. Then let me give you a reason to start. The line went dead. Mary set down her phone, amused. Men and their confidence. And that brings us back to Valentine's morning. The roses, Min-jun's fury. The moment everything changed. A slow smile formed on Mary's face as she stood in the dining room, staring at the broken glass where Min-jun had been. She picked up her phone, dialed. Senator Kwon, about that lunch. I'd love to. She looked toward where Min-jun had disappeared, spoke loud enough to carry. Friday at 1, perfect. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a while since someone treated me like I met her. In the hallway, Min-jun stood frozen, listening, his fist clenched. Then he pulled out his phone. Jiho, I need everything on Senator Kwon. Bank accounts, investments, every dirty secret. I want his vulnerabilities exposed by tonight. Sir, he's a government official. I don't care if he's the president. Do it. Min-jun ended the call, pressed his palms against the wall. What was she doing to him? 3 days later, Mary sat across from Senator Kwon at an upscale cafe. Floor-to-ceiling windows, very public. He was handsome, silver hair, mid-50s, charming smile. He kissed her hand. You're even more radiant than the rumors suggest. Mary smiled politely. You're very kind. They talked about politics, territory, neutral topics, nothing inappropriate. But the optics were intimate. The senator leaned in, lowered his voice. I know you're married, but from what I hear, it's strategic. Most marriages in our world are, Mary said carefully. That doesn't mean you should be lonely. Mary didn't shut it down, didn't encourage it either, just smiled. What she didn't see were the photos being taken from across the street. Underworld gossip channels, insurance. Min-jun was in a strategy meeting when the photos arrived. His phone buzzed. He opened the message, saw Mary and the senator, laughing, close, intimate. His knuckles turned white, gripping the phone. Sir? His lieutenant tried to continue the meeting. Min-jun stood. Meeting's over. Leave. The lieutenants exchanged worried looks but obeyed. The room cleared. Min-jun sat alone, staring at the photo. Then he made a call. Senator Kwon's accounts. Freeze them, all of them, and leak the financial irregularities to the press. I want him destroyed by Monday. Monday morning, Senator Kwon's world collapsed. Accounts frozen. News alerts everywhere. Senator under investigation for financial irregularities. Political allies distanced themselves overnight. He called Mary, voice shaking. Mrs. Park, I think I've overstepped. Please send my apologies to your husband. What happened? Mary asked, though she was starting to understand. Your husband is a very thorough man. I won't be contacting you again. He hung up. Mary sat in stunned silence. Then fury ignited. She stormed into Min-jun's office. Didn't knock. He was at his desk, unsurprised. You had him audited, she demanded. Min-jun looked up calmly. I had him investigated. The audit was a natural consequence. You destroyed his career. I protected what's mine. I'm not yours. Mary slammed her hands on his desk. This is a contract, not a leash. Min-jun stood, came around the desk. They were inches apart, breathing hard. Then stop testing me like you want me to pull it. I don't need your protection. You want protection? Marry your husband, not play games with senators. You are not my husband, Mary said. You're a name on a document. Min-jun's voice dropped, dangerous. Keep telling yourself that. Mary turned, stormed out, slammed the door. Behind her, Min-jun swept everything off his desk. Papers, laptop, coffee, everything crashed to the floor. First time he'd lost physical control. He pressed his hands to the desk, breathing hard. This was insane, absolutely insane. She was driving him insane. That night, Mary made a decision. If he wanted to play possessive, she'd show him exactly what he was fighting. She accepted an invitation to a high-profile underworld gala. But not alone. She brought a date. Takeshi Yamamoto, nephew of a rival Japanese syndicate leader. Young, handsome, respectful. Clearly interested. Mary wasn't interested romantically. She was making a point. They entered together, his hand on her lower back. Cameras flashed. Underworld figures noticed, whispered. Mrs. Park with another man? 20 minutes later, Min-jun arrived. He wasn't on the guest list. Didn't matter. The room noticed immediately. Conversations paused. All black suit, dangerous elegance. He scanned the room, found Mary with Takeshi at the bar. His jaw clenched. He walked directly to them, and didn't acknowledge Takeshi. We need to leave, he said to Mary. Mary kept her voice cool. I'm occupied. Min-jun finally looked at Takeshi. No, you're not. Takeshi, brave but sensing danger, started to speak. Sir, the lady is... Min-jun's look silenced him. You have 10 seconds to walk away. Use them wisely. Mary turned to him angry. You can't just... 5 seconds. Takeshi looked at Mary apologetically. Bowed. Left. Smart man. Mary was seething. You're embarrassing yourself. Min-jun leaned close, voice low. I'm embarrassing you. Learn the difference. He took her hand. Not rough, but firm. Walked her out of the gala. Everyone watched. Message sent. Inside Min-jun's car, the partition separated them from the driver. 30 seconds of suffocating silence. Mary stared out the window, furious. She pulled out her phone to call her driver while attempting to open the door. Min-jun grabbed her arm and asked, Where are you going? Home, of course. We're going home. Not with you, I'm not. Min-jun looked at her. What are you trying to prove? That I don't belong to you. His voice cracked slightly. You think I don't know that? You think I don't feel you pulling away every second of every day? Mary turned, caught off guard by the raw honesty. Then why do you care who I'm with? He paused for a long while, then replied, I don't. But neither moved away from the charged space. The car drove through Seoul's night streets. Neither spoke again. When they reached the penthouse, Mary went straight to her wing. Min-jun poured whiskey in the dark. Both lay awake in separate rooms, thinking about the same thing, each other. The next week, Mary scheduled a business lunch with Kenji Sato, a Japanese Yakuza diplomat. Legitimate meeting, very public restaurant. She arrived on time, started discussing distribution routes. Halfway through the meal, Min-jun walked in. Didn't ask permission. Sat down at their table. Kenji looked confused. Mr. Park, I didn't realize you'd be joining us. Min-jun signaled the waiter. I'll have what she's having. He turned to Mary. Continue, don't mind me. Mary's voice came through gritted teeth. This is a private meeting. Not anymore. He stayed the entire lunch, said nothing, just watched. Kenji left early, uncomfortable. The moment he was gone, Mary leaned forward. Are you satisfied? Not even close. She left without another word. But that night she went to an exclusive underground club, danced with Laurent Mercier, a French arms dealer. just dancing, but his hands were on her waist. Intimate enough. Min-jun arrived 30 minutes later. Security had tipped him off. He walked through the crowd, expression unreadable. Didn't ask, didn't speak. Just took Mary's hand mid-dance. Laurent protested. One look from Min-jun silenced him. "Let go of me." Mary tried to pull away. He didn't. Kept walking, through the club, out the back exit, into a private alley. Finally, he released her hand. Mary spun on him, furious. "What is wrong with you?" "What's wrong with me?" Min-jun's control was fracturing. "You're parading men in front of me like what? Like I'm free to do what I want. You're my wife. I'm your prisoner. There's a difference." Min-jun stepped closer. "You want freedom? Leave. File for divorce. My end this." Mary's chest heaved. "Maybe I will." "Then do it." They were inches apart, breathing hard. "Why don't you?" Min-jun's voice dropped to a whisper. Mary met his eyes. "Why don't you?" Neither had an answer. The air between them crackled. They leaned in. Almost. So close. Then Mary pulled back first. "This is insane." She walked away. Min-jun slammed his fist against the brick wall. Pain shot through his knuckles. He didn't care. A week later, a diamond bracelet arrived at the penthouse. Courier delivery, addressed to Mary from Dmitry Volkov, a European crime lord. The card read, "For a woman who shines brighter than diamonds, Dmitry." Mary found it in the entrance. She was actually annoyed. She'd never encouraged Dmitry, never even met him. She set it aside, planning to return it. Min-jun entered 5 minutes later and saw the box. Opened it without asking, read the card. His face went stone cold. He took the bracelet, box, card, walked to the balcony, threw all of it over the edge. 30 stories down. Mary saw him and came running. "What did you just do?" "Problem solved." "That was a $50,000 bracelet. I'll buy you 10 if you want diamonds so badly." "I don't want your diamonds." "Good, because you're not getting anyone else's either." Mary stepped into his space. "Give me one reason I should care what you think." Min-jun's voice came out raw. "Because you're mine." Her breath caught. "I am not yours, was never yours. You made sure of that." "I am protecting myself." "From what?" "From this. From needing you." The confession hung in the air. Mary's voice softened. "You don't need me. You just don't want anyone else to have me." "Is there a difference?" "Yes. One is possession. One is love. 3 months you've treated me like furniture, gave me no heed or even a look, and all of a sudden now you care." "It was the same with you. You were fine with it. We both agreed this arrangement was practically for business. I just don't know when that changed." Their foreheads almost touched, both breathing hard. The moment stretched, agonizing. Then Mary whispered, "We can't keep doing this." "I know." But neither pulled away. Finally, Mary stepped back. "I need air." She left. Min-jun stood alone, destroyed. The next morning, they avoided each other. But at 10 a.m., Min-jun's secure line rang. Unknown number. He answered. A distorted voice. "The alliance bleeds. One of you will fall. Consider this a warning." An image attached. Mary leaving her last meeting. Digital crosshairs added to her face. Min-jun's blood went cold. He called Jiho immediately. "Triple her security. Now. I don't care if she notices. Do it." "Sir, what happened?" "Someone just threatened her life. I want eyes on her every second." He didn't tell Mary about the threat. Didn't want to scare her. But the next morning, she noticed new bodyguards. "What's this?" she asked. "Precaution." "For what?" Min-jun looked at her. "Just don't argue, please." The please caught her off guard. He never said please. She studied his face, saw real fear underneath the control. "Fine," she agreed quietly. 2 days later, Mary had a business meeting at a private restaurant, discussing shipping routes with potential partners. Min-jun's security was outside. The meeting seemed routine. Halfway through, Mary excused herself to the restroom. She was washing her hands when the lights cut out. Emergency lighting kicked in. Gunfire erupted outside. Her bodyguards shouting. Then silence. The bathroom door kicked open. 3 masked men rushed in. Mary fought. She was trained, landed solid hits. But they were prepared. One pulled a taser. She went down. Last thing she saw was a masked figure. The Mafia queen bleeds like everyone else. Everything went black. Min-jun was in a meeting when his phone buzzed. Unknown number, video message. He opened it. His world stopped. Mary, zip-tied to a chair, bloodied lip. But her eyes were defiant, glaring at the camera. A masked voice. The Alliance dies tonight. Unless you want to watch her die first. 50 million. But you have 3 hours. The video ended. Min-jun's face went white. Then cold fury settled over him like ice. Everyone out, now. His lieutenants fled. Min-jun didn't call the ransom number. He called his top people. Find her. I don't care what it costs. Burn the entire city if you have to. He called in every favor. Yakuza, Chinese triads, Russian networks, his entire empire mobilized. Surveillance footage pulled. Informants interrogated. Territories searched. Traffic cameras hacked. 40 minutes later, a lead. Abandoned warehouse district in Incheon. 40 minutes away. Assemble everyone. Full force, Min-jun ordered. Sir, if we move that aggressively, it could start a war. Min-jun's voice was lethal. Then let it start. At the warehouse, Mary worked the zip tie against the metal chair edge. She'd been at it for an hour. 2 guards watched her. Boss said 3 hours. It's been 2. Think he'll pay? One asked. The other laughed. Doesn't matter. She dies either way. Mary spoke quietly. You first. The zip tie snapped. She lunged, grabbed the first guard's gun, shot him. The second guard rushed her. Brutal hand-to-hand fight. She won. Barely. Collapsed against the wall. More footsteps coming. She grabbed the gun. Limited bullets. Prepared to fight her way out. Then an explosion rocked the entrance. Min-jun's team breached. Gunfire, chaos, men screaming. Min-jun entered like a force of nature. Cold, brutal, efficient. Not there to negotiate. There to destroy. He found Mary in the back room. Gun raised, 2 bodies at her feet. Their eyes met. Are you hurt? His voice was breathless. Mary lowered the gun. I'm fine. She was shaking. Adrenaline crashing. Min-jun crossed to her, cupped her face gently. Are you hurt? His voice cracked. Bruises. Nothing serious. He pulled her close. Tight, like she might disappear. Mary was surprised. He'd never held her like this. She felt him trembling. I'm okay, she whispered. Min-jun pulled back, nodded. The mask tried to slide back. We need to move. That night, Min-jun's retaliation was savage. He identified the faction responsible. Within hours, their assets were seized, leaders captured, operations dismantled. The underworld message was crystal clear. Touch her, and you touch oblivion. Mary watched from the penthouse, saw news reports, realized this was personal for him, completely personal. Late that night, she stood in her bathroom trying to clean wounds. Hess couldn't reach the cut on her shoulder blade. A knock on the door. Let me help. Min-jun's voice. Mary hesitated. I can manage. Please. She opened the door. He came in with a first aid kit, sat on the bathroom counter behind her. His hands were gentle, careful, cleaning the wound with precision. Silence stretched between them. Then Mary spoke. You didn't have to come. Yes, I did. Why? His hands paused. Because the thought of losing you, I couldn't breathe. Mary turned to look at him. He met her eyes. I've killed men for less than disrespect, but today, I would have burned the world. Why? She whispered. You know why. They moved to her bedroom, sat on the edge of the bed, side by side, not touching but close. I pushed you away first, Mary admitted. I let you. Mary took a breath. I thought needing someone made me weak. In my world, weakness gets you killed. In mine too. Silence. Then Min-jun continued. I didn't know how to be close to you without losing control. So I chose distance. And I chose war. Min-jun laughed softly. We're both idiots. Mary smiled. The worst kind. Real eye contact. Vulnerable. Honest. I don't want to lose you, Min-jun said. You never had me to lose. I want to, if you'll let me. Mary's breath caught. She reached for his hand, their fingers intertwined. This doesn't fix everything, she said. I know. We still have work to do. I know. But I don't want to do it alone anymore. Min-jun squeezed her hand. You don't have to. They sat in silence, foreheads touched, just breathing together. First moment of real peace. Mary fell asleep on the bed. When she woke, morning light streamed through windows. Min-jun was sitting beside her, still holding her hand, awake, watching her. You stayed, she said. Always will, if you want me to. Mary looked at their intertwined hands, made a decision. I do. 2 weeks later, things shifted. Small changes, meaningful ones. Mary woke to find coffee on her nightstand, still hot, her favorite mug, a note. Morning meeting, back by noon. MJ. She smiled. He'd remembered exactly how she took it. 2 sugars, splash of cream. That afternoon, Mary was in a video call with her American team. Min-jun walked past her office, saw she was in a meeting. The old him would have interrupted, demanded inclusion. The new him nodded through the glass, kept walking. Later, Mary found him. You didn't sit in on my call. It wasn't my meeting. Since when do you care about boundaries? Min-jun looked at her. Since I realized respecting you matters more than controlling you. At a joint underworld negotiation, the old dynamic would have been Min-jun making decisions and telling her after. Instead, in front of syndicate leaders, he turned to her. What do you think? It's your territory too. Mary was surprised. I think we counter at 60-40, not 50-50. Min-jun turned to the others. You heard her, 60-40 or we walk. After the meeting, Mary caught his arm. You actually listened. I always listened, I just didn't always show it. 3 days later, Mary mentioned casually that she missed Southern food. Min-jun said nothing. But that weekend, she came home to smoke pouring from the kitchen, all alarms going off. She rushed in to find Min-jun surrounded by disaster. Burned pots, spilled ingredients, a crime scene of attempted cooking. What happened? He looked sheepish. I watched 3 YouTube videos. Mary started laughing. Actually laughing. For what? Shrimp and grits. You said you missed it. She looked at the disaster. At him. And it still looks like an actual crime scene. I'm better at real crime scenes. They laughed together. Real. Genuine. First time laughing with each other instead of at. They ordered takeout, ate in the messy kitchen. It was perfect. When Mary had to travel to Tokyo for a deal, the old Min-jun would have forbidden it, or insisted on coming. Instead, he asked, do you want company or solo? Solo, but thank you for asking. I'll have security nearby, not watching. Just available. That's actually reasonable. Min-jun smiled. I'm learning. He kissed her forehead before she left. Gentle, not possessive. She didn't pull away. Mary started inviting him in too. When reviewing a complicated deal, she called him. Can you look at something? I want your opinion. He was clearly surprised. You want my opinion? You're brilliant at logistics. I'd be stupid not to use that. They worked side by side, strategizing, their minds synced, finishing each other's sentences. We're good at this, Mary realized. Together. We always were, too stubborn to admit it. At a high-profile gala, Mary waited for Min-jun this time. They entered together, his hand on her lower back. She leaned into it. The underworld noticed. The alliance is real now. During the event, she introduced him as my partner, not my husband. Respect, not obligation. He deferred to her expertise on American operations. They worked the room as a unit. Someone flirted with Mary. She handled it herself. Politely declined. Later, Min-jun said, "You didn't need me to step in." "No, but I like that you would have." Late one night, they sat in the shared living room, drinking wine, talking. Mary opened up about her past, growing up in the American underworld, her father's empire, his death, proving herself twice as hard. "I learned early," she said, "need no one, trust no one, show no weakness." "I learned the same," Min-jun said. "How do we unlearn it?" "Together, slowly." He took her hand. She let him. When Dmitry Volkov called wanting a meeting, the old Mary would have said yes to provoke Min-jun. Instead, she said, "Dmitry, I appreciate the offer, but I handle European operations through existing channels, not interested in personal meetings. Your husband won't let you. My choice, not his." She hung up. Min-jun had overheard from the hallway. "I'm not playing games anymore," Mary said. "I noticed." "Do you miss the chase?" Min-jun pulled her close. "No, I prefer this." Their first real kiss, not from anger or jealousy, born from genuine connection, slow, deliberate, chosen. They established a ritual. Friday dinners, just them, no phones, no business. Week 1 was awkward but genuine. Week 2, they laughed about old battles. Week 3 brought deep conversations about family and legacy. Week 4 was comfortable silence, just being. They planned a joint operation together, taking down a rival faction, her intel plus his enforcement, and her negotiation plus his intimidation. The operation was flawless. Afterward in the car, Mary said, "We're terrifying together." Unstoppable. Is this what it could have been from the start? Min-jun looked at her. "No, we weren't ready. We had to fight our way here." "Was it worth it?" "Every second." Touch became tender, his hand brushing hair from her face, her fixing his tie before meetings, dancing at 2 a.m. without music, him reading while she worked beside him, her falling asleep on his shoulder. Touch was comfort now, not territory. One night on the rooftop at 3 a.m., both unable to sleep, they found each other, sat on the ledge overlooking Seoul. "I was terrified of you from the first day," Min-jun admitted. "Not of what you could do to my empire, of what you could do to me, aren't to my control." "I thought loving you meant surrendering my power," Mary said. "Everything I built." "Love doesn't require surrender. It requires trust." "I didn't know how to trust, still don't fully." "Neither do I, but I'm trying, with you." Mary looked at him. "Why me?" "Because I don't want anyone. I want you, your fire, your strength, your mind, all of it." Tears formed in her eyes. "I spent so long hating you." "I hated you too." "When did it change?" Min-jun thought. "The roses. That moment I realized you weren't just a contract. You were the only person who ever made me feel anything." "I'm scared," Mary confessed, "that I'll lose myself, become just your wife instead of me." Min-jun took both her hands. "Never. You're Mary Spiller's Park, queen in your own right, my equal, not my possession." They talked specifics. Set boundaries, separate empires but joint decisions on overlap, independence respected, partnership chosen, honesty even when hard, no more games, no more tests. "Promise you'll never try to control me," Mary said. "I promise. And you promise to tell me when I'm failing, not punish me." "Deal." They shook hands, laughed at the formality. The handshake turned into a hug, the hug into a kiss. "I don't need you," Mary said. Min-jun smiled. "I know. I choose you. Every day? Every damn day. Even when I'm impossible. Especially then." Min-jun's expression turned serious. I choose you too, not because of the alliance, because you're the only person who made me want to be better. Are we really doing this? If you want to. I do. The next morning, Mary moved from the West Wing to Min-jun's bedroom. Staff was shocked. She told the head of staff, 1 bedroom from now on, together. Min-jun helped her move. Symbolic, carrying literal baggage together. They laughed, teased, worked as a team. It felt right. February 14th came again, 1 year since the roses. Mary woke to find their bedroom filled with flowers, African violets and Korean orchids, representing both worlds. Intertwined. The card read, "For the Queen who chose me, every day, MJ." Mary was crying, smiling. Min-jun entered with breakfast. You remembered. How could I forget? The roses that started this. These are better. Everything's better now. They had breakfast in bed, no games, just love. That evening on the rooftop, they exchanged private vows, just them, no witnesses. Min-jun spoke first. I vow to respect your empire as mine, to ask, I not demand, to protect, not control, to love you as my equal, my partner, my choice. Mary's voice was steady. I vow to trust you with my heart, my fears, my truth, to meet you halfway, always, to build with you, not against you, to love you freely, fiercely, forever. They exchanged new rings, ones they'd chosen together, kissed as the sun set over Seoul. 2 empires, 1 partnership. 6 months later, at a high-stakes international meeting, Mary and Min-jun sat side by side at the head of the table. Not 2 forces, 1 unit. 70-30 split, our favor, Min-jun stated. The Italian boss frowned. That's steep. Why should we agree? Mary leaned forward. Because we control Asian shipping and American distribution. Without us, you have product with nowhere to go. Min-jun finished, and we have buyers with no product. And together we're unstoppable, separately vulnerable. And if we refuse? The Italian asked. Both exchanged a look, a small smile. Then we find new partners, Min-jun said. Already have 3 other European factions interested, Mary added. The Italian boss nodded slowly. 70-30, agreed. After, a lieutenant whispered. They folded fast. Mary smiled. They saw what we see. What's that? That we're terrifying together. That night, in their shared bedroom, Mary stood at the vanity removing jewelry. Min-jun was at the window overlooking Seoul. Comfortable silence, deep intimacy. Remember the first night here? He asked. Separate wings, separate lives. I couldn't sleep, kept thinking about you in the other wing. Mary turned, surprised. Really? I thought you didn't care. I cared too much. That's why I stayed away. I couldn't sleep either. Thought I was just angry. Were you? No, I was terrified. Of you. Of what you made me feel. Min-jun crossed the room, knelt beside her chair. And now I'm terrified of losing you. You won't. Promise? I promise. Every day, every fight, every challenge, I choose you. Mary's tears fell. We really made it, didn't we? We did. Against every odd. Because we're unstoppable. Together. He pulled her into his arms. She rested her head on his chest. Perfect fit. The camera pulled back, showing them holding each other, then panned to the window. Seoul at night, their empire shining. They didn't fall in love. They didn't stumble into it. They fought for it, bled for it, chose it, every single day. And together, they became unstoppable. Thank you for watching this story unfold. If Mary and Min-jun's journey resonated with you, if you felt every moment of tension, every confession, every dangerous choice, then hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment telling me which moment hit you hardest, the roses, the kidnapping, the rooftop vows, and share this with someone who loves intense romance. Until next time, remember, The right person will burn their whole world down just to keep you warm. Subscribe, like, and comment.